John Nolan's the Deputy Managing Director at Transguard, which is part of the Emirates Group. He's also Area Governor of Toastmasters. Good to meet you, John.
Good to meet you.
First of all, let's expand on what Toastmasters is. I have a good idea. I've been online. I've had a look. I have an image in my head of the guy in the dicky bow and the white gloves. Let's try to get away from that, because the point that you've made in the notes that I have is that you've benefited from membership. Your employers have benefited from membership. But I guess not everybody's up to speed. So give us the lowdown.
Well, Toastmasters is an organization that was founded as far back as 1924. The objective of the Toastmasters organization is actually to help individuals in areas of leadership as well as communication, and in particular public speaking. The reason why I actually joined Toastmasters was because it's a competency that I've always associated with strong leaders. As I reached senior roles, and as I reached senior roles in Transguard Group, where I'm employed now, I really wanted to elevate my communication and public speaking skills to another level. And I knew people that were members of Toastmasters, and that's what drew me to it.
It's a global organisation. What's it given you? What do you think it's allowed you to achieve?
From my perspective, it's allowed me to have the confidence to communicate both informally as well as formally. So in most senior roles, you're going to have to get up regularly and you're going to have to speak in front of people. Now that could be anything from actually running a meeting through to speaking in front of an entire company or at a conference representing a company. Toastmasters will give you the skill sets to actually operate at all those different roles.
So it's a not-for-profit organisation. It's easy to join. Are there any costs?
The costs are really just the administration of the club. So the club I'm a member of, which is Dubai Internet City Toastmasters, which obviously is in Dubai Internet City, costs 950 dirhams a year, and that's really just to cover the rent of the room and some refreshments. So
no instructors, members evaluate each other, so you're working with your peers. Because it always strikes me, if you have, there are many leadership skills courses, training courses, trying to get across to people in 2 or 3 days what you need to be able to address an audience of hundreds, potentially. And it's intimidating, isn't it? You have Mr. Personality up the front, but what you're doing here is working with guys who could be new to it, could be experienced. It's about sharing knowledge.
Absolutely. I mean, the culture that's provided within a Toastmasters club is one that's very supportive and very positive. So you get all levels of communicators in a typical Toastmasters club. You may have someone who is an exceptionally strong speaker, has been speaking throughout their career, and also maybe have been a member for a long time. But you also get the novice members that come in. And really what the Toastmaster experience is about is constructive, positive feedback, so that when everybody gets up to actually speak at a Toastmasters meeting, they leave with some positive feedback and constructive thoughts that they can take with them, so the next time they appear, they can actually come back stronger.
What are the skills in public speaking? Because I remember starting to have to do it, have to stand in front of people. I was nervous. You still get butterflies even if you've done it for a number of times. What do you think are the skills that you need? Can anybody do it? Is it just something? Is it something you can learn, or is it innate?
Well, you know, it's a known fact that actually statistically the biggest fear in the world is actually public speaking.
Sure.
And the third biggest fear is actually death. So you know, people are actually more scared to actually speak than they are scared of dying. So
depressing but true.
So yeah, I think obviously there are a few people that are born naturals, but I think the majority of us are not born natural speakers. But I would say absolutely everybody can learn through practice, yes. And that's what Toastmasters is all about. It's actually getting people to get comfortable speaking and actually practicing, and practice makes people stronger.
Because you're a real advocate now, aren't you? You believe it's furthered your career. You're the deputy managing director at Transguard, and Transguard believe in it as well. They're great advocates for the procedure, the process.
Absolutely. I mean, I really only joined Toastmasters thinking I would be involved for a year or so. Really, the goals were quite short term. But for me, I realize the benefits, not just actually in the communication side, because there is a lot of leadership. There's a leadership side to Toastmasters as well. You take on different roles. I've taken on a role within the area that involves me working with numerous clubs across Dubai and sometimes having to travel overseas. For the likes of Transguard, it's extremely beneficial because it gives people a chance to actually speak in a very comfortable environment and to take leadership roles probably before they actually have to do it in real life. So then when they're actually given that challenge in the workplace, they're ready for it. So I would highly recommend it for corporates. There is two types of clubs. There's community clubs, which Dubai Internet City is, and there are corporate clubs. Corporate clubs are obviously set up within the company, sponsored by the company. Transguard doesn't have one as yet, but I would be planning to roll one out in the future. I've seen at least a dozen people within Transguard, different levels within the management team through to actually guys that are quite junior in our organization, get involved in Toastmasters, and they really have transformed themselves. It's not just about the quality when they get up to speak. That actually gives them a whole different level of confidence to just communicate in general day-to-day activities at the office.
How does it compare to, how do you think it compares to established leadership courses? Because I can see benefits for SMEs or smaller entrepreneurs. It's going to be cheaper to train up potential managers for the future. But how does Toastmasters compare to your established corporate courses, do you think?
They are quite different. I mean, what I would say about Toastmasters is it's a continual ongoing experience. While a leadership course normally has set objectives and a start and finish, while in Toastmasters you are learning through experience, and it really is up to you how much you take from Toastmasters based on what you put into it. But I've seen people who have had the opportunity to learn in a non-for-profit, non-threatening organization, learn leadership skills that probably they wouldn't have actually got such an opportunity even through a leadership program. They would have learned the technical side of it, but they wouldn't have had the opportunity to actually practice it.
We're in the room now where you're going to have a session tonight. There is a light box which looks like a set of traffic lights. There is a bell there, which I guess gets dinged. People get gonged out, I'm not sure. Run me through a typical Toastmasters session.
Well, a typical meeting will be very structured. The objective is to get as many members that actually turn up to actually play a role, so that nobody is a bystander for the whole meeting. There'll also be visitors. There will be a Toastmaster of the day. The Toastmaster of the day actually runs the entire meeting. There's also prepared speeches. So people will have come with prepared speeches, normally anywhere between 3 and 5 speeches. Those speeches will also be evaluated by different members. So as you can see, as you proceed through the meeting, you're getting most members up. Probably the most fun element of a Toastmasters meeting is a concept called table topics, where a table topics master will get up in front of the meeting and will invite members to come up and give them a topic to speak on for 1 to 2 minutes. We normally start off with a seasoned veteran of a member, and then you bring the new members up, and quite often the visitors that are at the meeting. And it's a great way to introduce people to actually speaking on the spot. So it's not all about formal prepared speeches. It's also about learning how to speak on the spot, be able to think in front of people and express yourself. It
sounds like it could also be a whole lot of fun, to be honest with you, because the funny thing is, a minute or 2 minutes is no time at all. But when you're on the spot and you have to think on your feet, it's an eternity.
Absolutely, and it's very important, especially for something like table topics, that the environment is very supportive. And you know, sometimes people get up there and they do get stage fright, and quite honestly, that's the reality of what probably would happen in life if you're asked as well. So they are encouraged then, they're prompted by members in the audience to just speak about anything they want. So, you know, they might be given a topic, but at the end of the day, they could just talk about what they did that day. We don't want them leaving the stage feeling that they got stage fright and therefore they, you know, shouldn't be involved in any Toastmasters meeting in future. The concept is to give them that initial confidence and initial experience that gives them enough to feel they can come back and go forward. And quite frankly, I've seen people come in to a meeting, get stage fright the first time they've had to get up and do a table topic, And right now, 2 years later, they're some of the strongest speakers in the club, and they are speaking in the workplace in front of hundreds of people several times a year. So I've seen people go, being transformed right from the novice through to the very experienced, confident speaker a number of times.